Hundreds and thousands of wheels get built in Xiamen every year. We all ride them, race them, but rarely stop to think about how they actually get made. And I've dabbled in wheel building before, but I've never tried to do anything on a professional level. Now, if you're talking about professional and carbon wheels, of course, there's only one place to go. Farsports.
Come in, please.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, May.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
I like your new office.
Thank you.
After a bit of small talk, I got down to it and told May what I was here for. But anyway, I have a favor to ask of you today.
Okay.
I want to learn how to build wheels. Can you teach me?
I cannot teach you.
Oh no.
I can ask my colleague to teach you.
Maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Now at this point, I hadn't quite realized how naive I was being. I thought I was going to waltz in, watch the professionals do it a few times, then do it myself and be a professional wheel builder in no time. But oh boy, was I wrong. So, yeah, how do I begin building a wheel?
You need to change your clothes.
Oh.
And then later I will show you.
Okay. Wow, Farsports. Okay, well, let me go get changed and then we'll get going.
Okay. See you later.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm looking the part now in Farsports.
Very professional.
Thank you, I feel professional.
Yeah.
Before we got started with the wheel building, I asked May to give me a quick tour of the new office. A lot bigger, a lot shinier than the old office. Loads of people working there doing the whole sales office thing. Had a nice, beautiful showroom with all of their wheels and stuff. And I even caught a glimpse of some of the employees' bikes. After that, I asked her to take me to where they built the wheels. Okay, so this is where all the wheels get built?
Yes. Please come in. Yeah, this way. So first, you need to get order sheet.
Okay.
And get some components.
Yep.
Our colleague will prepare components for you.
Okay.
For the rings, spokes, and the hubs.
Okay.
Okay.
May passed me an order sheet. This is basically like the birth certificate of the wheel set. Every wheel set has one, and it kind of goes along with the wheel down the assembly line. On it, it has all the specs for the wheel, the customer's name, all those details, etc. With the order sheet in hand, we headed into the rim warehouse to find the rims for my wheel set.
You can take the rims from our rim warehouse. This is all for the brand, the rims.
That's a lot of rims.
Yeah.
How many rims do you have in here?
Around thousands.
Oof, okay.
Yeah.
And I can see what we've got in here. Okay, so yeah, 25, C5,
yeah.
C5.
You need the S5.
Okay, I need to find my S5. An Evo S5, yeah?
Evo S5, okay.
The amount of rims in this one warehouse alone was shocking. This warehouse is only for their own branded wheels. They have more warehouses full of their OEM partners' rims. After a bit of searching, we found the rims for my Evo S5 build. Okay, so that's my front rim. Oh, that's light.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got, Evo S5, okay.
This is F.
18 for front, 18 for rear. Okay, so 18 holes, front, rear. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, this
is this number the weight?
Yeah, the weight.
Oh, okay. So one 400 grams, one 399 grams. Just 1 gram difference.
Yes.
That's very precise. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So if someone, when I build a wheel, I can choose the lightest rim, huh?
Yeah.
1 gram lighter.
1 gram lighter.
With rims in hand, I still needed hubs and spokes. So, off to another warehouse to find their warehouse manager.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the warehouse manager?
Yes, warehouse manager. You can ask him for help.
Mr. Warehouse Manager, 我要交一个 Evo S5 的前后滑骨，还有辐条，应该前轮18根，后轮18根。谢谢你。哇 lots of spokes. I can see carbon spokes, I can see steel spokes, got Supim spokes, DT Swiss spokes, Alpina spokes. Aha, looks like got 2 hubs. Okay, so I've got my hubs. Have a look. Ooh, okay. 1 front, 1 rear. Okay. With all of the parts of my wheel in hand, it was time for the first step of the process, the rough build. And now this is where the wheel is loosely laced together. Now, I'd kind of shot myself in the foot by choosing the S5 Evo, as this wheel has no holes in the rim bed. Now, this makes the wheel stiffer and easier to set up tubeless, but it was about to give me a bit of a headache. Okay, so step one is to put the spokes through the hub. I saw here, he's already got for me the longer ones for the disc side and the shorter ones for the non-disc side. Looks super easy when he did it. It took him 30 seconds. Let's see how hard it actually is. Yeah, looks super easy. You just put the spoke in the hole, but I saw this guy made it look very easy. And yeah, already I'm fumbling, so yeah, let's see. I think they're going to start falling out in a minute. Come on, come on, come on. Oh. This is me stumbling at the very first hurdle. This is literally putting a round peg in a round hole, and I'm somehow messing it up. Now, the guy before me made it seem so effortless, but I was just making a real dog's dinner of it. Okay, definitely taking a lot longer than he took. I'm running out of hands as well. Let me put these all in one hand.
A few moments later.
It's not it's not the hardest thing in the world, but to do it fast, you can see this guy has lots of muscle memory because he's been doing it for a long time, I assume. So yeah, you have to actually put the axle down into the hub a little bit so that you can actually get the spokes through. So that's a pretty clever design feature. Get the axle out of the way, and then we can put these spokes through. Okay, yeah, this is good. I'm feeling it. I'm getting into the groove.
Moments later.
So these are the nipples with all the little piece of metal already inside. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8. Okay, exactly 18. So he's already done the maths for me. And okay. Again, I saw him. This bit took him 3 minutes. We'll see how long it takes me.
More moments later.
Now, this was the first bit that really tested me. So as I mentioned earlier, there are no holes in the rim bed. That means that every spoke nipple has to be moved to the spoke hole by magnet. Now, they thread small pieces of steel into the nipples and then use a magnet on the outside of the rim to guide the nipples to the spoke holes. But once the nipples get to the spoke holes, there's nothing to really hold them there. They just sit tentatively in the spoke hole, half sticking out. The slightest movement and they fall back down into the rim. Now, keeping the rim at a bit of an angle helps to get the nipples through the holes, but too much of an angle and then the nipples just fell back down into the rim. So again, their guys made it look effortless and super easy, but I was really starting to struggle.
Okay, so yeah, you got to get the rim at just the right angle, and it makes things a lot easier. Okay, so yeah, these magnets pretty strong. If you can find where your nipples are, they come through quite easily. And the hard bit here is making sure they don't fall back into the rim, as I just did. Okay.
Now, I'm not going to make you sit and watch the entire process of me pulling these spoke nipples through. Like I said, it took a professional 3 minutes. According to my camera guy and the timestamp on the video, it took me 17 minutes.
Much later.
So you keep the steel in the others in case they fall back inside and you can get them out again quickly. Okay, so I've got 4 out. Now I need to get my hub. So the logo has to face towards the valve hole. The hard bit is now putting these in. I can't scratch the rim. Okay, so we want to try. Again, this is the hard part, trying to screw these on now. So the ones that have pulled out have already fell inside, and they've now no longer got any of the metal in, so I can't suck them back out. Yeah, this guy knows the tricks. So this guy's telling me which hands to put things in and stuff, and it's making it a lot easier. Oh, 这个还没掉进去. Okay.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
At this point, it had taken me so long to get the wheel laced that it was actually lunchtime. Now, there's a fun little climb near Farsports HQ, and a few of the team were heading there for a lunchtime spin. One of the guys from the IT department and their CTO, Lynn, those two guys were going there, so I thought I'd join them for the ride. It was a nice little ride up the climb. and at the top we got to enjoy the view looking down over Tong En. After heading back to the office, we all enjoyed some lunch in the cafeteria. Now, it is really cool to see businesses that support this kind of like riding culture. Now, you'd think it's obvious in a bike company, but so many bike companies are full of people who don't ride bikes. Now, at Farsports, plenty of them actually ride bikes, but I think the impressive thing is that the company itself is also set up to support them. You know, there's parking for the bikes of the employees inside the office, and there are shower facilities for those who commute. Anyway, there was no more delaying it. It was time to get back to my wheel set. With the rough build done, it's time for the real wheel building. Now, I watched one of their wheel builders working on a different wheel off the production line to see just how it was supposed to be done.
So this guy's just got the wheel from the previous guy, like the step that I did, just roughly building the wheel up. And now he's just going through the one time just to put a little bit of tension in the wheel. I asked him how does he know how much to put in the first time, and he says just muscle memory. So again, it also depends on the guy before. If the guy before did a screw too many or too few times, it's going to mess him up too. So you can see everyone in the team has to have real like teamwork and be on the same wavelength. If the guy in front's having a bad day, it's going to make this guy's wheel build process longer as well. So yeah, I saw he went round basically one time and just put a bit of tension on the non-drive side, and then he goes through and puts a bit of tension on the other side as well. So because there are no spoke holes in the rim bed, he has to use two tools. One tool keeps the carbon spoke still, and the other tool is to adjust the nipple. So yeah, not as easy as it looks, like all of these things. So he was saying the first thing he does is the run out of the wheel, like the up and down, make sure it's a round wheel in that sense. And once he's got that pretty much in check, then he'll start doing the left and right play. 然后第一次你的目标是多少？0.5或是
0.2、0.3。
Woo! It says the first time his run out goal is like 0.2, 0.3 mil. So even in this early stage of the build, he's still keeping things pretty precise. Yeah, so I can see he's just spinning the wheel, making sure there's no spots that are too high or too low. One thing you'll notice with these guys, they really don't use the spoke tension meter that much, just because they have such a good feel for these wheels. Every day doing basically the same wheel set over and over again, like they can just feel it in the spokes with their hands. I'm sure when they check the wheels later towards the end, they'll start using the spoke tension meter, but at this stage, like he doesn't need it. I can see him just flying through this wheel. And again, this guy's making it look super easy. I'm fairly sure it's not.
Having watched the professional do it, it was my turn. Now, this element of the build I was feeling a bit more confident about. I've trued a few wheels that have gone out of true in the past, and I get the basic principles of where to add and remove tension to get the wheel to be where you want it to be. But what I didn't realize that was my antics before lunch had actually made things a lot worse for myself.
Again, fast learning that this wheel building stuff. So basically what happened, usually the guy who puts the spokes through for the rough build, he does every nipple the same amount of twists. And then when this guy comes, he does every nipple the same amount of twists. So basically get really uniform spoke tension. But when I was doing the rough build, every nipple was basically a different amount of twists, just because I wasn't even thinking of how many twists. I was just trying to get the thing built. And now that means that on this point, even if I do every nipple with the same amount of twists, the tension on each spoke is all over the place. So this is going to be an absolute dog's dinner to true, the guy says. Yeah, so at the moment, I'm just going on like the feeling of how tight the nipple is to tighten up. But yeah, something tells me this is going to be setting a world record for the slowest wheel build ever in this office.
11 minutes later.
If you do buy a set of Farsports Evo S5 and they come very unevenly laced, send your complaints to joe at pandapodium.cc. Let me see how many mil we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 mil, not 0.4. 4.0. Okay, we're in trouble.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so I'm kind of chasing my tail at this point. I've got my left-right run out down to about 0.2, 0.3, but my vertical run out, whatever it's called, I'm still at like 0.4-ish. And every time I try to fix this goes out of skew and vice versa. But also in general, I think my spoke tension is way too low, so I'm going to go around and just put a little bit more tension in every single spoke. So we'll see.
2 very boring minutes later.
At this point, I was genuinely getting concerned about slowing down the production line. It's all fun and games being the goofy YouTuber who comes in to make a video, but when you have paying customers waiting for the wheels, it didn't seem right to be slowing the guys down. I was pretty happy with my 0.3 mil, and the dish was out by just 0.1 mil, but spoke tension for the whole wheel was a bit too low, so I let the professionals try save my wheel.
Okay, so now this guy's trying to fix the wheel that I made a dog's dinner of. So after the wheel's built up and within specs, we need to get rid of any stress that's in the wheel and kind of make sure everything's in its place. Sometimes the spoke nipples aren't exactly in the right place. So for that, we use this crafty little machine. So we put the wheel on here, and of course we have this block to protect the hub as well. And then basically, we just use this to take the stress out the wheel and then bring it out, trying to hit it, turn it round, other side, back on we go. Again, protect the hub, put it down. And yeah, as you do it, you hear a few things clinking and moving around, so then back to see if it's still in true.
At this point, my mind was just blown by the amount of work that goes into a wheel set. Now, admittedly, it took me 10 times longer than the professionals, but even for them, it's a laborious, meticulous process. With the wheel built, they were put on the rack waiting for their final QC.
Okay. So yeah, at this stage, my wheel set is getting its final QC. I just got checked for trueness. Just got a little shake to make sure there's no nipple still on the rim, because we know I dropped a few rims in there. So she gives the wheel a bit of a shake to check for that. Gives it a quick visual once over. You can see he's shaking it to make sure none of my nipples are still in there. And yeah, gets baxed up and put in the warehouse, ready to send off to a customer. Yeah.
With my wheel having somehow passed its QC, I went to find the big boss to talk about my day and see if I have a job to fall back on.
How was your day in Farsports?
A lot harder than I thought. So I thought I was going to come here and make a video and teach the whole world how to make wheels.
Yes, it's easy?
No, it's not easy. Or it's not impossible, but it's just a lot slower. Like your guys make it look super easy and just really quick, and it just takes me about 4 or 5 times longer than it takes them. It's good, it's fun, like, and now I can appreciate all of the work that goes into one wheel set. But no, like, I thought it would be easy and like, oh yeah.
How many wheels have you built for this day?
Half a wheel?
Half wheel?
Not half a wheel set, just half a wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the rough build, with just putting the spokes through, it took the other guy, thank you. It took the other guy 30 seconds. It took me about 3 minutes.
Wow.
And then to just put all of the nipples through and everything, it took him about 4 minutes. It took me 17 minutes.
Yo, so slow.
I think I can get a bit faster. And then the first build of the wheel set, the other guy, it took him like 7-8 minutes. It took me half an hour.
Wow.
And it still wasn't good enough. Okay, so do you think I can get a job at Farsports?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, but not for as a wheels builder.
Oh no. What job can I get?
I want to say a big thank you to Farsports for inviting me into their workshop and letting me get my hands dirty. I no doubt caused huge amounts of disruption to their daily routine, but I had a blast doing it. I now have huge respect to all the wheel builders out there, and no matter what country it's in, Watching people who take pride in their work is always a great sight to behold. Now, if you did like this video, I'm not going to ask you to give this video a like. I'm going to ask you to head on over to farsports.com and have a look around their site. Read about the brand, learn about the wheels, and if you are in the market for a set of wheels, you can check out my previous videos for some in-depth reviews of the Farsports wheels. Again, a big thank you to Farsports for being a partner of the channel. I wouldn't be able to justify making these videos without their support. Okay? China cycling out.